Welcome to Formula 7 Racing. We are live here in Austria. What a race this is going to be. I think Shiny needs an invite. Just bear with me. Yeah, praise. We do have actually two drivers joining in qualifying. So not bad considering. So that would be 58 out of the 60 drivers raced already. What was I going to do then? Shiny, yeah. Let's invite Shiny. He should be here somewhere. There he is. Right, how are we doing? I'm just going to close this door so we don't hear any copyrighted music from the Alexa outside. Right, hopefully the audio is good. Let me know if it isn't. If the audio for the game is too low, let me know. I can turn it up slightly. So here we are. We've got a couple of drivers out on track. We need some of that track to show. And now we're all set. We're good. Here we go. Lad in the Red Bull, a 160. Then we've got a couple more drivers coming to the grid here at the Spielberg circuit. Driz is on his debut in the Alpine. You've got Forza Ferrari who's invalidated it. Alfie Edwards is on a lap. Jennifer Lee, the championship leader, is lagging quite a bit there. Hopefully that's not an issue for him. So the Ferrari driver, then you've got Kevin Gamer in the Williams coming down towards the line. And Kevin Gamer, a 1059, goes on provisional pole. Mad Right at 1060, but Alfie Edwards has taken it away from him. Alfie Edwards goes up to P1 for now. Remember, only two will be eliminated in Q1. Vicious Vicar to Pappy. And Doug has pulled over Driz on his debut. Let's have a look and see what Driz can do. How are we going, Kylan? You okay? So, Driz coming down towards the line. Slow P Gamer, a 105. I'm just going to see if this works. I've been trying to use it, but it's not been working, so I'm just going to see. So, yellow flag. Slow P Gamer is the fastest. Then we've got... Yeah, it's still a bit laggy, isn't it? It doesn't catch up in time. Kevin Gamer, Real Ashton Army, Jennifer Lee in the Haas. Then we've got the other Haas driver of Alfie Edwards and Slow P Gamer. Forza Ferrari, a 105.3 is an incredible lap in the Aston Martin. If we could get everybody share their names and that was a little bit better, that would be a good thing to use. So, 18 drivers now in, so somebody else, Shining Swan, has just joined, which is good. He is now officially in. 1 minute before I forget, there was supposed to be a race today until they got postponed, so all the races are supposed to be short qualifying to fit around the Rio race, but obviously that got postponed, so I need to make sure, because I missed it in the first session. Right, there we go. So one of the drivers going into the pit lane. There was something else as well, but I can't remember what now. So, Slow P Gamer. You've got Nimblecat who went up to P5. He just goes off at turn 3. You've got Doug in the Aston Martin. Ace Drift just coming down towards turn 4. So here comes Louisi, who goes up to P5, a 105.8 for the McLaren driver. Ace Drift is lighting up the circuit at the moment. Oh, and he's onto the grass. A little bit of a mistake from the McLaren driver as he comes into the double right-hander. He's also lagging a little bit. I'm hoping that's not the lobby. Yeah, he's lagging quite significantly. And Ace Drift, P12, a 106.3 for him. What about K9A9 in the Red Bull on his debut as well? And he's just wiggling, so I don't think he's on a lap at the moment, is K9. But it'd be nice to see what sort of pace he's at for his first time racing as he just runs wide. Shining Swarm is on an outlap. Gertmeiser in that Racing Bull, also getting ready for a flyer. So Ace Drift potentially will go again. His teammate of Alizzi into the pit lane he goes. So interesting stuff here. You can see that the McLaren's dominating the first and second sector, and then Forza Ferrari and the Aston Martin, who's currently on a pole position, getting the fastest sector free time of anybody. Shining Swarm has invalidated it, so is K9A9, so he's not going to improve just yet. Gertmeiser has lagged out. Mad Riot needs to be careful. He is on the brink of elimination, and them 3 drivers behind are yet to set a lap. So Gertmeiser. Oh, I don't know where he's gone. So Mad Riot. This is absolutely going to be close, Kev. You're right. It'll be very interesting to see what these drivers can do, and to see what the debutants can do as well. Yeah, you'll probably say, Kev. So we'll ride on board with Mad Riot as we come through the line, and it's P8 for the Sauber driver. Tapapi is currently in P10, so he is safely through. Vicious Vicar now starts his lap because he's beginning to become worried about his position on the track. Driz on his debut has invalidated. He's going to have to go all the way round again. Here is Driz. You've got 3 of the other drivers into the pit lane. Lad has been DSQ'd. Only 2 drivers will be eliminated. What has happened to Lad there to be DSQ'd from the entire session? And that means that he will start in last position. The Croatian driver, something's definitely interrupted the session there. Alfie Edwards on an outlap. Nimblecat in the Alpine coming through sector 2. Gertmeiser is struggling at the moment with his connection. Here comes the Ferrari of Real Ashton Arnett, who's currently down on his lap time. Mad Riot. Then you've got Vicious Vicar in the Sauber. He's 2 tenths up on his lap time. To the line we go. Vicious Vicar is up to P10. Now Nimblecat will be next. And the Alpine just watched his son in Tier 2 take a step closer to the championship with an amazing display from the 2 McLarens. Was the 1-stop the right choice? Should he have stayed with the 2-stop? His teammate putting in a solid effort for him, and now the son passes the torch to the father, who stays P6. Still a good lap time from Nimblecat. Alfie Edwards in the Haas will go again. He's currently in P3, probably safe at this stage in the race. Yeah, Kev, that's the plan. And Alfie Edwards goes fastest in Sector 1. Remember, we know who's pole position at the moment. It is Forza Ferrari, but it's only here in Q1, so it won't matter too much. Here comes Alfie Edwards down in towards Slosh Gold at turn 4. And he's got that McLaren just in front of him. He'll potentially either get one of 2 things here. He'll get dirty air, or he'll get a tow from that McLaren in front as he comes round the double left-hander. It's probably in that sort of no man's land where he's not going to get either. He's not going to get the toe. Oh, and he runs off the track, and that is it. Alfie Edwards, who's currently in P3, is not going to improve. And Doug, in the Aston Martin, is currently in P5. Real Aston Army calls it a day. He thinks he's safely through, and probably so. And Ace Drift with an ace lap into P3. Shining Swarm in the Mercedes is finally going to get a lap on the board, and it's P15. That drops Driz down into the bottom three. Gertmeiser still struggling with connection issues. Here comes Driz, potentially to improve. He is a tier 4 driver. He's finally on the grid, getting his debut. He's definitely in the right tier, and I really hope he's an extremely nice person. We've dealt with him over the last couple of days, and I said to him he would fit into tier 4 so well because everybody's so nice, experienced as well, and the racing's amazing. He will fit into tier 4 really well. So hopefully he can get a decent lap on the board with 5 minutes to go and get into Q2, but we shall see, because it is Shining Swarm at the moment. He just runs onto the gravel, who is taking that spot away from him, and the Canadian of Tapapi. K9A9 on his debut is into P13, so these drivers are definitely in the right tiers. So the pace chart doing its job. K9A9 into the pit lane. Nimble Cat will follow him in. And Driz seeing his teammate there. So Tapapi, is he going to get another lap on the board? He's currently 2.5 tenths down. Around turn 7 we go. Around turn 9 and 10 at Red Bull Mobile. And then it's a short run up for the Racing Bull, who goes and stays P14. Mad Riot is back out, so he's definitely concerned here, Mad Riot. Usually you don't see him doing 3 runs in Q1, so maybe his pace just isn't where he's hoping to be. They do lead the constructors by a significant gap. And I think they've only had 1 race win between them, so it just goes to show. Only 1 race win, but leading the constructors by a long way. So around turn 7 and 8. And he didn't take the apex of turn 8 there, so a different line for Mad Riot than a lot of the other drivers are taking. So either that's going to help him or hinder him. We're about to find out. To the checkered flag. And Mad Riot will go P3. A 105.4. Look how close this is. So Mad Riot is safe. Tapapi is coming into the pit lane. He's got 3 minutes to get in and get out. Honda VTEC is in. So he has made it. Well done, Honda. I don't think Gertmeiser is going to make it. His connection really playing up today. Is Driz going to head out of the pit lane to try and get another lap? He is. Here comes the Alpine driver as he slides out of the pit lane. Just being mindful of the drivers behind. And that is Vicious Vicar, who just went up to P3. A 105.4 for him. What a lap time from the experienced driver of Vicious Vicar as he pulls over to the right. Mad Riot. His son, father and son duo, Kevin Gamer in the Williams, looks like he will be going through, but you never know. Driz in the Alpine back out, so is Shining Swarm. So we're riding on board with the driver from Macau, and it is Shining Swarm in the Mercedes coming through turn 1. DRS enabled. Honda VTEC needs to get a move on if he wants to get a lap on the board. The Mercedes driver, his teammate trying to get through. He's 3 tenths up through sector 1 as he just slides through there. This is where he needs to put it all together. Down in towards Slosh Gold at turn 4. Shining Swarm is putting a decent lap together, potentially to get him into Q2. It's Tapapi that is watching with anticipation. So is K9A9. You've got Driz in the Alpine. He's also improving. Oh, and Shining Swarm's lost a bit through Sector 2. He's only half a tenth up now, but that would still put him in front of Tapapi around turn 9 and 10. And then it's a short run up to the line. That was a lot cleaner than the last time we were riding on board. Shining Swarm goes P12. It's Tapapi now on the brink of elimination. Driz in the other Alpine with a good exit out of Slosh Gold in towards turn 6 at the double left-hander. Into turn 7, he's 2.5 tenths down. Driz needs an amazing Sector 3 if he wants to get into Q2. Come on, Driz, on his debut. Through turn 9, into turn 10. That's a lot cleaner than it was last time. That was even better. A little shake of the rears, and Driz to the line. Stays P16. Really unfortunate for the Alpine driver. Kevin Gamer looks to be safe. Up to P10 goes him. Shining Swarm, K9A9 is still in the pit lane, so he's just relying solely on that 106.2. Driz is not going to get to the line to go for another lap, so he will be out. Gertmeiser is not going to leave the pit lane. Honda VTEC did get onto a lap, and that is not good news for Tapapi. The Canadian driver will be looking to improve as he comes in towards turn 6. Mr. Best, I think that's a very, very harsh. I think that's a very harsh assessment of somebody's driving, that, Mr. Best. So Tapapi out of turn 10 and down towards the line, and he stays P15. He doesn't improve. Driz is not going to improve, so it's all on Honda VTEC. I will tell you something. I think it might be a joke that. Yeah, just make a tier 5 for him. But, yeah. Oh, Honda VTEC's lost it. That could be the saving grace that Tapapi was hoping for. It is going to be the saving grace. And Shining Swarm, K9A9 and Tapapi are through. Absolutely, Driz. Alright. I get it's a joke. Yeah, I'm a big believer that no matter how slow you are, you should be able to have a tier to racing. Like a lot of the racing leagues, I'm not going to name them actually, but it all goes off pace. So they could have 10 tiers, and they'll all be 10 quick tiers, and you'll be trying to get into tier 1 and all that. We have a designated slower tier so that everybody gets a chance to race. So there you have it. It is El Wizit that takes the fastest lap, and for some reason mine hasn't updated. You're gonna have to just bear with me. I'm really sorry. What is going on here? Don't do this to me. K9A9. One of many that, but yes, every league seems to just be like, right, we'll do 4 tiers. The slower of the faster drivers goes in tier 4, the slower of the faster drivers goes in tier 3, the medium of the faster driver goes in. Do you know what I mean? They're all fast drivers, and then when you let fast drivers dominate the tiers, you never get a slower tier, because you'll get like esports drivers in tier 1, and then you'll get non-esports drivers in tier 2, then you'll get non-esports that are not as quick as non-esports drivers just in tier 3, then you'll get, do you know what I mean? So it gets faster and faster and faster and faster to the point where you've got 10 tiers of really quick drivers, and you've got people online competing just to get into tier 6 of this fast tier. And I feel like you miss such an opportunity doing that. Like, we've got tier 4 here, the designated slower tier. How much amazing racing have we seen this season that we would have never seen if we didn't have a designated slower tier? And we give an opportunity to drivers that would not necessarily have an opportunity somewhere else, or they don't sit online all day and make TikTok videos trying to get into different tiers. Do you know what I mean? And there's nothing against that. if you are quick, absolutely smash it. Go out there, make them TikToks, get into them fast tiers, and go and kill it online. But you miss so much incredible racing from the slower drivers, and so many great battles, and so many great communities, and people, and you know, personalities. So I think it's such a great thing. Let me just sort this out a minute, guys. So that was the Q1 from just now, I think. Yeah, there it is. Is that going to upload? So Austria. Ah, it did load. Thank you. Right, brilliant. So Sauber in P6. Who was in P15 in the Racing Bulls? Papi, right. And then who was the Sauber? Mad Riot. Yeah. An Ace Drift, Alfie, Jennifer, Kev, Josh, Leo, Shining. Who was the Red Bull? The Red Bull came out in there. Right, we're ready. Let's go. Oh yeah, okay, no, I agree. Sometimes you will get some that help. So we've got a Ferrari coming around. That is Real Aston Army. And we've got a couple of drivers already on a lap. I think that might be a Williams leading the way. It is. It's Kevin Gamer. And he will coming around turn 9 and then in towards 10. We have got light cloud to overcast in around 15 minutes. And Kevin Gamer will get us underway at 107.6. He won't be happy with that. To Pappy in the Racing Bull at 106.008. He will be really pleased to get into Q2. Alfie Edwards at 105.7 as more drivers come through. That is a McLaren starting his lap. You've got the Haas of Jennifer Lee starting his lap. The other McLaren of El Wizzy, who got fastest in Q1, goes fastest here in Q2 or 105.2 from the McLaren. That is Vicious Vicar at 106.2. Then we've got Slow P Gamer, who was sort of taking the mick a little bit in Q1. He set his time on hards when everybody was competing on them softs, trying to get a decent lap on the board. He was strolling along. Here comes the Real Aston Army. To the line we go, and he goes P3 a 105.7. Nimble Cat is on an out lap. Ace Drift and Mad Riot. Mad Riot has invalidated it. Here comes Ace Drift in the Papaya, the number 76 car. And Jennifer Lee has gone fastest in Sector 2 with the Haas. In towards turn 9 and then through Red Bull Mobile at turn 10. And the McLaren driver putting a decent lap together here. Ace Drift to the line, goes P4, and then Jennifer Lee comes through to go fastest. P1 with 10.5 minutes remaining. What about Mad Riot? Into the pit lane. Nimble Cat. Let me know if the audio's okay, guys. If there's any issues, just send me a message because I won't be able to hear it. So as we go down and proceed on this race, that is Slow P Gamer that is absolutely dominant with that. A 104.2, 8 tenths quicker than Jennifer Lee. Shining Swarm in the Mercedes. Coming around turn 6 and 7. So we're here at the Spielberg circuit. Hope you like the billboard. You can see there just above that track there, it was a UEC, Ultimate Endurance Championship for Assetto Corsa, which is starting at the end of May. Massive prizes to be won, and we've teamed up with quite a few big Assetto Corsa leagues. K9A9 in the Red Bull coming through to go P11. Our Le Mans Ultimate tier is absolutely blown up. We've got a few people trying to partner with us to do that, but you know, it depends if it makes sense, because we're absolutely killing it at the moment. And we're moving to weekly races. And then we've got Formula 1 every Sunday and Wednesday. We've got Formula 2 right before Formula 1 on a Wednesday as well. And you can find us on SimGrid, as it says on the billboards there. Oh, Nico left. He was supposed to be racing today, but... Oh, sorry, it's a different Nico. He just joined. Oh, we've got people trying to join Assetto Corsa and Le Mans at the moment. So into the pit lane goes K9A9. Forza Ferrari has invalidated it with 8 minutes remaining. We'll come back stronger, Kev. So a lot of the drivers are now into the pits. We've got big things coming up, so stay with us, guys. Stay with us. So we ride on board with Forza Ferrari, and he needs to get a lap on the board. The good thing about Austria is because it's such a short circuit, I think one of the shortest on the calendar, if not the shortest. Not in length, that would go to Monaco, which doesn't actually meet the standards of a short track. It's just there because it's historic. But yeah, Austria, very, very short track in terms of time-wise, so you can leave the pit lane quite late on. I agree, Mr. West, I agree. So Forza in the Aston Martin out of turn 5. And then we'll go into turn 7 and 8. He wants to just go as close as possible. Oh, he has a huge snap. He's kept it valid though. And that might just save him from having to go all the way round again, because he will still be able to get a lap on the board out of turn 10 down to the line, and he's just slipping his line. You can see him trying to hold on, and it's P11. He's going to have to do it all over again. His Forza Ferrari dug his teammate, and you can see it's getting a little bit murky out there. And the grey clouds, you can see in the top right, the weather forecast, 15 minutes. So, the track is not getting quicker. Remember, it will be getting very sunny as we go to Miami next week. So that's a change of scenery. Is that a different Williams livery? It is, isn't it? I do like that one. I really like that one, actually. Why don't I have that one? Here comes Kev into the pit lane as well. Alfie Edwards in the Haas. And then you've got Real Ashton Army in the Ferrari. We do, mate. We do full qualifying. If there's more, 16 or more drivers, we do full. If there's less, which is very, very rare, we'll do short qualifying in all 4 of our tiers on a Sunday. So our first race is at 10 AM, our second race is at 12:30, our third race is at 3 PM, and our fourth race is at 7 PM. So we're heading down in towards turn 9, but the Real Aston Army is going to go into the pit lane, and then we've got Alfie Edwards coming in towards turn 10. He invalidates it, and he'll be kicking himself. So we ride on board with Ace Drift. So the McLaren up towards turn 3. Yeah, Yeah, mate, we have a few drivers that are sort of having to... I mean, Giant Stick that just raced in Tier 3. I think it's like 4 AM for him as well. He's from America. It totally depends what tier you are, to be honest, what pace you're at. But yeah, it'd be nice if you could race at a normal time. Ace Drift around turn 8. And this is a pretty decent lap from the McLaren driver. He's currently in P11. Is this going to do enough to get him into Q3 in the final stages of qualifying? Ace Drift out of the final chicane and down towards the line, and the McLaren driver will stay P11. He will not improve. He's got 4 minutes to do it all over again. Mad Riot in the Sauber. He's going to have to do it all over again as well. And there's a McLaren, that is El Wizzy, I think, who's just lost it. And he is currently in P3, so probably safe at this stage in the race. But you never know what can happen here in racing. Mad Riot in the Sauber. Let's ride on board with the Tier 3 Season 6 World Champion, I think it is. Around turn 8 as we head in towards turn 9 and 10. The double right-hander for the Kick Sauber driver of Mad Riot. That was a good move through there to the line. Mad Riot goes P4 and in front of his teammate and father of Vicious Vicar. Ace Drift is going to have to go and do it all over again. Tapapi in the Racing Bull, the Canadian driver, is also finding improvement, and it is so close. Anybody still has potential to get through. You've got Forza Ferrari and Doug both on laps trying to find improvement. They're synchronised lap timings here for Forza Ferrari and Doug, but it is Doug that's slightly ahead on the laps. So we'll see him come to the line first, the Aston Martin driver. So we head in towards turn 9 and 10. In towards the final corner. He kept it valid there, but he took a huge chunk of the apex. Doug, is it enough? It's not enough. Forza Ferrari is up to P5 and Doug has not found enough to get through. This is incredible. Tapapi and Ace Drift. And Ace Drift is not finding that improvement. Kevin Gamer in the Williams is back out. And there's going to be a couple of shockers here. And Kevin Gamer, oh, that wasn't great as he came through there. And he invalidated it, and that is it. He's not going to have enough time to go all the way around, so Kevin Gamer will be out. Alfie Edwards is going to start his lap. K9A9 is on the brink of elimination. Can he improve on his timings? Potentially Kevin Gamer's got enough time to actually get to the flag and go again. The same with Doug if he's got the fuel. So I think he is trying to recharge. I'm wondering if Forza Ferrari is going to maybe move in front of him and give him a tow. Who knows? No, I don't think they are going to swap around. You do have El Wizzy that's also on a lap. A little bit of traffic in front of him around turn 7 and 8. No, he's not on the lap. He's already improved up to P2. But he's still 7 tenths behind Slow P Gamer. Doug is into the pit lane, so he is out. So Doug in the Aston Martin is out. So is Tapapi. So is Ace Drift. They are all eliminated. Kevin Gamer might be able to get another crack at this. Alfie Edwards, K9A9, potentially safe. Shining Swarm is into P7. The Macau driver. Wow, Alfie Edwards coming out of the final chicane to the line. The Haas goes P9. K9A9 is currently out. Kevin Gamer is on another lap. This is it. 6 seconds to go. Nobody else is going to hit the line. Is that the Alpine of Nimblecat? It is. Who goes up to P6? Kevin Gamer up towards turn 3 he goes. He's not going to get another opportunity. And neither is the Red Bull of K9A9. So this is it. It is now or never for the Red Bull driver of K9A9 and the Williams of Kevin Gamer. Real Aston Army waits in anticipation to see if he is going to be participating in Q3. K9 runs wide but keeps it valid. He's backed out. The Red Bull is out, so it's all on Kevin Gamer, who's 1.6 down. Real Ashton Army is safe. So is Alfie Edwards. Just what they needed. They are through. Real Ashton Army and Alfie Edwards. Oh, wow. And I tell you what, Alfie Edwards just nearly ended out of Q2. Yeah, really good lap there, K9. Really unlucky not to get through. And Kev ran out of fuel. Wow. Yeah, even if you do as much coasting as possible, sometimes it's just not enough. So that is it for Q2. As you know, I've just got to put all the stats down, so bear with me. I hope you're all enjoying all the stats. We finally got the Pro version back. Well, I've been paying, actually. Well, you know what's a funny story? So, I've been paying for 2 years for this Pro version, right? But then they changed it, and you can have advanced version or Pro version. So, I was paying £7 a month for this advanced version. And the Pro version was £27 a month. So I said, well, obviously, it's for what we're going to use it for, it's not worth paying the £27 a month, because it was only like attack rating and defence rating. So let me just write these stats down. So Manzifa, El Wizzy, Jennifer Lee, then Mad Riot in P4, Forza, Nimble, Vicious Vicar, Shining Swarm, Alfie Edwards, who is the Red Bull in P11, that is... Okay, 9-8, oh yeah, sorry, yeah. Then P14 was to Pappy. So obviously we use Patreon to purchase Dave's Devs, which is all of our race director stuff, and use it for all the Discord payments and obviously for Racing League tools and everything that we use, which is about £75 a month. Anyway, I'd run out of the thing on Racing League, so I looked at the subscriptions again, and I found that there was a different site called Boosty that did the Pro version for £10, not £28. So I was like, no, surely not. Anyway, I purchased it, and so be it, you get bloody the Pro version. So for an extra £3 from what we were paying, we were able to get everything back that we used to post. So yeah, real bonus, real positive for us. And great for the drivers to get all them stats back again. So yeah, and nearly getting to the end of the season as well, so them trophies will be getting sent back out. Another 13 trophies, I think it is 13, is it? So what is it? So you got 3 for tier 1, 3 for tier 2, 3 for tier 3, 3 for tier 4, so that's 9. Then you get 3 for realistic, which is 12, and then 1 that we usually do for either team principal or driver of the year that we've done. So potentially 13 or 14. And we've give away a few little prizes throughout the season as well to like our events winners, and our Le Mans winner last week, we sent him a little Discord profile thing as well. So yeah, the season's been a really, really positive one, a really successful one, and obviously that wouldn't be the case unless we had the community to back us in terms of the drivers, in terms of the watchers and the viewers. And the supporters as well that help us and fund what we do as well. So thank you all so much. And it means that we can put on a racing league for you guys and give you somewhere to enjoy to race. So Forza Ferrari will get us underway here in Q3. The Aston Martin driver. And also as well the just like the overlays that we're using there as well, the DRS overlays and stuff like that. So the Aston Martin driver in towards turn 1 and through turn 2. Does this prove I could steal the Red Bull seat? K9, yeah, there's a few vacant seats. I know there's a couple of drivers waiting. I think after this race we'll sort the seats out. I think we could potentially get everybody in a seat that is waiting for a seat in tier 4. Because I feel like there's just going to be a little bit of movement after this race, which we've discussed prior, so yeah. So through turn 7 and 8. Mr. Best, are you okay? That is so much effort. So Forza Ferrari out of turn 10, down towards the checkered flag. And it's a 105.5 for the Aston Martin driver. And Nimblecat a 105.4, and he sits on provisional pole. But for how long? Here we go. That is Alfie Edwards, a 104.7 for the Haas driver. Then we've got the Ferraris. The real Aston Army comes through. Then the McLaren of Elwizzy. He goes P2, a 105.1. The Mercedes of Shining Swarm and Slow P Gamer will be next. Shining Swarm to the line goes P7. Slow P Gamer is back into the pit lane. Jennifer Lee, the championship leader. Through sector 3 we go. And out of turn 10 to the line, Jennifer Lee, a 104.6, takes provisional pole position here in Austria. But for how long? So he does lead the Drivers' Championships, Jennifer Lee, by 27 points to Vicious Vicar. So that is a huge statement. So 104.6 from Jennifer Lee. Yeah, I'm just looking at tier 3 actually, and I'm a bit surprised at how close the times are from here. Anyway, you are absolutely right, Kevin. It is actually tier 3 times. Yeah, you're right. It would have, just that time alone there would put him P5 in tier 3 today. But obviously people have stronger tracks, they differ, it totally depends. So we just got to concentrate on the race for now. It just means he's put in an awesome lap. Nimblecat will go again. He did go again, but he didn't improve. Slow P Gamer in the Ferrari has invalidated it, and he must have done it coming through the final corner. This league isn't ready for the Haas domination. Yeah, Alfie, it looks like it is going to be a Haas domination. Yeah, K9, it was a good lap. Good lap, mate. So Slow P Gamer is going to have to go all the way around and go again. So the Ferrari. And remember guys, if you do want to join, it's !Discord in the chat. And you can come and join the league. We do have 4 tiers, all with different paces. Tier 3 race at 10 AM, Tier 2 at 12:30, Tier 4 at 3 and Tier 1 at 7 PM. So pretty much any pace that you are will be a tier for you. So Slow P Gamer is on for another lap. He's run wide again. We raced Monaco in last season. Did we race it this season? So out of turn 3 and down towards Schlossgold at turn 4 for the Ferrari driver of Slow P Gamer. The man from South Africa. Yeah, Juriz, I've already been through 2 Red Bulls today. And 2 Baroccas as well, actually. Last season, yeah. So through, and it's the fastest sector 2 time of anybody for Slow P Gamer through turn 8 and then in towards the 2 right-handers at turn 9 and 10. Has Slow P Gamer done enough? In towards the final chicane and down towards the line for Slow P Gamer. And it will be provisional pole for the Ferrari driver. What a lap from Slow P Gamer, even with the slight mistake. And the Ferrari with a 1:04.402. So can anybody compete with that? Forza Ferrari's on a lap. Here comes Vicious Vicar with the other Sauber behind him. Yeah, Driz, 1:04.4 is crazy actually, to be honest, mate. Especially when, if it wasn't for Priz setting a 1:03 in Tier 3, that would have been the fastest time in Tier 3 today, if it weren't for Priz. So, Vicious Vicar in the Sauber will be first. You've got Real Aston Army back out. Mad Riot just behind him, stealing a little bit of slipstream. Alfie Edwards bidding for that pole position as well in front of his teammate. Shining Swarm on an outlap. Forza Ferrari and the Aston Martin. But it's Vicious Vicar who's 6.66 up on his lap time. Out of turn 10. This is very clean from Vicious Vicar to the line. It's P4 from Vicious Vicar at 1:04.9 and Mad Riot with a 1:05.0 as he slides onto the grass. 2.5 minutes to go. It's 4.5 for Vicious Vicar and Mad Riot. Forza Ferrari backs out. Real Aston Army is on another lap. El Wizzy is back out. Shining Swarm on an outlap. So is Jennifer Lee. Slow P Gamer and Alfie Edwards are both in the pit lane. No problem, Driz. I'm glad that you've been able to sort of fit straight in. It's really nice, that. Real Aston Army does improve but stays P7. I always say, when people enjoy it and enjoy having fun and enjoy racing and can forget about everything else just for that moment that they're racing, then we're doing a good job. So Forza Ferrari, look at this. He's getting a massive toe off that Mercedes in front, but I don't know if he's on a lap here. Is he on a lap? So it's the Mercedes in front and he nearly goes into the back of him. That is Shining Swan, but Shining Swan is also on a flying lap, so he has no reason to move out of the way here. So Forza Ferrari just backing off. Shining Swarm is now free off the reins to go again. El Wizzy in the McLaren is 2 tenths up on his lap time. This would put him around Vicious Vicar, maybe in front of him. So potentially a P4 coming for the Papaya out of turn 10. Down towards the line we go. And it is P4 from El Wizzy. Then the Ferrari of Real Aston Army slides into the pit lane. Shining Swarm has invalidated it. The driver from Macau is not going to be able to improve. He's got to go again, but he's not going to have the battery. He runs off the line. That might have invalidated his next lap. It does. Forza Ferrari's into the pit lane. He's not going to be able to improve. Jennifer Lee is bidding for pole position as he comes around turn 7 and 8. He's 4/100ths down on his lap time as he rides the curb. Down towards turn 9 we go. The man from Hong Kong leading the championship by 27 points. In towards turn 10 at Red Bull Mobile. Out of the chicane. Down towards the checkered flag. Nimble sets the fastest first sector. Jennifer Lee improves. It's a 1:04.4 for Jennifer Lee, but it's not pole position. Nimble Cat in the Alpine is now on a lap. Here we go. It is now starting to heat up. It is so close and competitive. Look at Alfie, look at El Wizzy, look at Vicious Vicar and Mad Riot. They are all bunched up in the middle of this pack. Who is going to be able to take pole position? The checkered flag has been waved here at the Spielberg circuit in Austria. The clouds still above us, but the sun is shining on this lap for Nimble Cat. Turn 8, down towards turn 9. Can the Alpine improve from P9 as we go through turn 9 in towards the final chicane and down towards the checker flag? Nimble takes P4. What a lap from the Alpine driver. Jennifer Lee's not going to be able to improve, but Slow P Gamer 104.323 from the Ferrari driver as he takes pole position here in Austria. Slow P Gamer is not so slow here. So Slow P Gamer on pole position here in Austria. Let me just put the stats down. Bear with me, guys. Slow P Gamer, Jennifer Lee, Alfie Edwards, Nimble Cat, Wizzy, Vicious Vicar, Mad Riot. And then we've got the Real Ashen Army, Forza Ferrari and Shining Swan. Yes, they are all in the right positions. I'm just going to call him Go P Gamer. What a lap though. So we move on to the race, and whilst we've got the chance, let's have a look at where we'll be racing today. So we are here in Austria, the Spielberg circuit, 2.683 miles with 10 corners and 3 DRS zones. One going down in towards turn 3, one into turn 4 and one down in towards turn 1. The elevations around here are gorgeous, and Austria is an amazing circuit that we will witness some amazing racing today. It's so good for overtaking here in Austria, isn't it? Because you've got sort of 3 back-to-back DRS zones. The only time you've not got the rear wing open is when you're going through the middle sector. That is literally it. You've got it right down towards turn 1 DRS, so I don't think the host, anybody waited there. Down towards turn 1 you've got DRS, then you've got another DRS straight down towards turn 3 from turn 1, then you've got straight back on the DRS down towards turn 4 from turn 3, so it is literally back to back to back, and then you go through the middle sector without it, which is that's it, and then you come back onto it. It's like, it's so good for racing and overtaking. 19 drivers on the grid. That means out of the 60 possible drivers that have raced today already, 58 of them have turned up and raced. We've had full grids in every tier bar in this one. The only reason we only had 19 in tier 2 is because I was in there collecting stats. Otherwise we would have had a full grid there as well. So really, really good numbers once again in tier 4, really showing up now. Podium predictions and ace drift predictions. My podium predictions are as follows, exactly how it is now. I think it'll be 1, 2, 3, Ferrari, Haas. It's what happens behind that will be interesting. And it'll be interesting to see what Ladd does from the Red Bull in P19 after getting DSQ'd. I'll be keeping my eyes on the debutants as well. And Ace Drift, I think, will find himself in the top 10 by the end of this race. So yeah, really interesting. I hope the drivers keep it clean. I hope we see some amazing racing, because that is what it's all about. So we are all coming to line up once again. I predict a riot. I predict a riot, riot. Anybody know the Stockport County score? So here we go for round 13 here in Austria for Tier 4 here in Formula 7 Racing, powered by Sim Racing Setups. And it's lights out and away we go. Jennifer Lee did not look like he was that quick off the line, and he wasn't. Alfie Edwards, his teammate already onto him. And around the outside he goes. Alfie Edwards is into P2. Here comes Nimblecat on Jennifer Lee. Forza Ferrari is through on the Saubers. And that is Vicious Vicar being swarmed by the Red Bull of K9A9. Here comes Ace drifting. The McLaren's already up to P9, and Nimblecat is into the podium places. Back down the inside goes Jennifer Lee. Wheel to wheel goes Forza Ferrari now Wizzy. All the drivers going side by side out of turn 3 and down towards Schloss Gold at turn 4. Vicious Vicar now fighting with that Ferrari of the real Aston Army. D6 Driz in the Alpine is up to P12. Then you've got Forza Ferrari making another move up the inside of El Wizzy, and the Scotsman is up to P5, but for how long? He does stay ahead. Now here comes Ace Drift, who's into P7. What a start for him. D6 Driz is through on Real Aston Army and up to P11. Lad is only just now making moves. Honda VTEC down into P19, and Lad in the Red Bull up to P18. Gert Miser on the back of his teammate of Tapapi. Then you've got Doug in the Aston Martin, but a very, very good start here in Austria. That is what we want to see. Here we go. K9A9 in the Red Bull. Down the inside he goes. And just backs out. Good racing from the pair of them. El Wizzy is from Forza Ferrari. Now that that DRS is enabled, we're going to see these battling start to heat up. D6 Driz is through the Alpine on the Sauber driver. Vicious Vicar just backing out. Here comes Real Aston Army around the outside as Kevin Gamer is up the inside. Shining Swarm also making the move, and he's going to go for the double overtake. And the man from Macau making moves here at the Spielberg circuit. Kevin Gamer just thinking better of it there. And look at these, all very bunched up. This is what we were waiting for. Oh, you're kidding. Wow. Losing 2-1. But was 1-0 up. Ace Drift in the McLaren. Oh, and that is Tapapi and Gert Miser swapping places, the two teammates. No love lost in that garage. Slow P Gamer now a second clear. He's going to get rid of that DRS of the Alfie Edwards. Nimblecat is on the top 3 steps at the moment, but still 33 laps to go. Yeah, I'm a Stockport fan, mate, yeah. Oh, well, I'm Man City and Stockport. I have the main team, Manchester City, but I've grew up in Stockport and, you know, used to go to a lot of Stockport County games growing up with my friends and stuff like that. So I know you're not supposed to support 2 teams, but... Forza Ferrari up the inside of Lewisi, and he is into P5. You've got Real Aston Army and Vicious Vicar, who's being really swamped in the midfield. There goes Doug on Kevin Gamer. Vicious Vicar back on D6 Driz, who goes later on the brakes. Wow, and he gets it to a stop, but he's just slightly onto the gravel. They do touch. Wow, and then here comes the Mercedes. Oh, that was a bad move. It was a bad move. He went for it, tagging the Alpine and nearly putting him into the wall. And now Real Aston Army is all over the back of D6 Driz. Did any of them pick up damage? We shall find out. So, Doug down the inside of Real Aston Army. Did D6 Driz pick up damage? He didn't, but did Shining Swarm. He didn't either, I don't think. Wow, this is getting very tasty. Kevin Gamer picking up a track limit very easily done. Did you see all them drivers running wide there? There goes Kevin Gamer. And look at this. There's like 6 or 7 drivers battling at the back. It's amazing. Here comes Gert Miser on Shining Swarm. And he's going to go later on the brakes up the inside. Clatters into Real Aston Army. And that might have caused a bit of a pile-up. Gert Miser was just slightly later on the brakes. Then nearly takes out the Mercedes. And that is Tapapi that's into the wall. The Racing Bull. And does he have damage? Tapapi will not like that one. Lad in the Red Bull is through up to P16. There's K9A9. In the Red Bull that is from Vicious Vicar. El Wizzy down to P10 in that McLaren. And it is all happening on lap 4. Wow. So Alfie Edwards now catching up to Slow P Gamer. And he's going to have DRS. Is this working? It is working. There we go. 30% wear on them tyres. Nimblecat still in P3. And his tyres are a lot better. But here comes the Haas. And that is Alfie Edwards that is going to take the lead of this Grand Prix. And the Ferrari is now demoted back down to P2. Here comes Ace Drift on Forza Ferrari. Wheel to wheel go the McLaren and the Aston Martin. Who's going to get the better exit as we go down towards Schlossgold? Who's going to get the rear wing? It is the McLaren that's going to get that extra bit of horsepower, but it's not going to make a difference. He goes back into the slipstream of the Aston Martin to try and get a bit of a tow. He will have the inside line, but Forza Ferrari will get the better exit as we've got the aerial shots. And the Aston Martin back into P5. K9A9 on Vicious Vicar. These Saubers involved in a lot of the racing at the moment. So what a race this is. Every driver still in this race. Here we go. Alfie Edwards on Slow P Gamer. K9A9 with that time penalty. Who's going to get the better exit? Looks like Alfie Edwards in the slipstream. He'll get the DRS, and once he gets the DRS, it's game over for the Ferrari. Here we go. No, he's not. The Ferrari's defending well, and here comes Nimblecat. He's looking for a move up the inside, and he nearly got it as well. Alfie Edwards and Slow P Gamer still going at it. That is Real Aston Army on D6 Driz, the Alpine. And there goes Gertmeiser as well. And back comes D6 Driz. Oh, he went so late on the brakes. Smashes into the Ferrari. And a bad move from the Alpine driver, and through comes Shining Swarm. And just one of them moments where you just have a collapse of the brain as you're going in towards that chicane and you just miss your braking point. We've all done it. But D6 Driz, does he have damage? I don't know, we can't see. Shining Swarm is from Real Aston Army. Nimblecat's still fighting. This is still on for him. That was a dive valve roll. How are we? How much pens does D6 Driz have? Let's have a look. Just the 3 seconds for D6 Driz. Alfie Edwards on Slow P Gamer. There goes El Wizzy as well in the McLaren up the inside of the Red Bull of K9A9, who runs a little bit wide out of the first chicane. Alfie Edwards chasing down that Ferrari. Both Ferrari-powered cars, but it is the Scuderia that scoots off into the lead as we go in towards Schlossgold at turn 4. Nimblecat's still there on the top 3 steps. Seven laps down. Let's have a look at the reaction times. Remember, Alfie Edwards was quicker than his teammate. His reaction time, 5.30. What about Jennifer Lee? 5.40, yeah. So the reaction time was quicker from Alfie Edwards, and that's why he was able to get past his teammate up towards turn 1. You can see it with the reaction times. You can have a look at the gaps for Alfie Edwards to Nimble and Slow P Gamer. And we can have a look at the last laps. Shining Swarm with a time penalty, and that is Gertmeiser that is through on Doug. Who's going to go for the early stop? D6 Driz is into the pit lane. He started on softs. Wow, that is a hell of a strategy. So he started on the softs. He's now into the pit lane to probably go for the mediums. That is Doug that is through on Gertmeiser. The Aston Martin on the Racing Bull. And then Alfie Edwards in the Haas on the back of that Ferrari. Yeah, K9A9, how are you typing? I got 12 seconds in my race, but I changed my wheel rotation just before the race to stop it disconnecting. Gertmeiser is back through, and that is Ladd in the Red Bull. Gertmeiser must have made a mistake. Nimble doing GOAT things, he is at the moment. He's in a great position, and Slow P Gamer is into the pit lane, so he's going for the undercut from the lead of this race. And Jennifer Lee stays out. Nimblecat follows him in, and then Mad Riot. So a couple of the leaders are into the pit lane. They do not want to come out in a lot of traffic here. And I tell you what, there's a big train coming down the pit lane, and they're going to get cut right up into this. There goes Ladd on Doug, and the Red Bull is into P8. There goes Gertmeiser, Shining Swarm, Real Aston Army, and they are going to come out right behind this massive train. Doug is back through on that Red Bull. So we can see the tyre lives here in Austria. We are yet to have a safety car today. And Gertmeiser being overtaken there by Ladd. You can see the pit window. 14 to 20 on the hards. Honda VTEC on the back of Mad Riot. These have come out in a massive train, by the way. Jennifer Lee is now your race leader. So, Alfie Edwards, Ace Drift, Doug on the back of K9, A9. Slow P Gamers caught up to this pack. Here comes Doug on the inside of the Red Bull in towards turn 1. Very nicely done from the Aston Martin driver, but look at these, they are queuing up to take their shots. Slow P Gamer is through on his teammate. Maybe that was discussed prior to the race. Here comes Gertmeiser on K9A9, and Racing Bull is in between the two Red Bulls. There was a little mistake coming out of there, and now here comes Gertmeiser on Shining Swarm. But it is the Mercedes that is up to P7. Gertmeiser is going to go later on the brakes into Slosh Gold. He does. Here comes Slow P Gamer. He's getting involved in it. Not where he wants to be. Alfie Edwards is definitely not where he wants to be. And he's got Nimblecat all over his tail. Here comes Slow P Gamer as well. Around the outside of the Mercedes of Shining Swarm. He is through. El Wizzy picked up a track limit. And there's a few drivers just struggling here out of turn 8. And Slow P Gamer has done a terrific job of navigating these drivers. K9A9 is now next, out of turn 10. And Ladd, Doug is into the pit lane to try and get out of this clustered area. Oh, wow, it's good job Slow P Gamer ghosted there, Jesus. Gertmeiser and Shining Swan going at it for about round 20. As we go up towards turn 3, look at this. A lot of battling, and Nimblecat is right in the middle. He's going to go way later on the brakes. Oh, and he's been tagged. Oh, Nimblecat, who was on for a podium. He went really late on the brakes, went up the inside. And through goes. And that is the problem that you have when you come out in a train like this. You can get caught up. And so unfortunate for the Alpine of Nimblecat, who's on for an amazing race here. Ace Drift in the McLaren on the back of Mad Riot. He's not lost too much. He's probably lost 5 seconds there. It's not all over just yet for the experienced driver. Here comes Alfie Edwards. Well, you can have a look how much time he's lost. He was right with Alfie Edwards. Yeah, about 5 seconds. Here comes Alfie in the Haas on the Red Bull of K9. Honda VTEC into the pits. Slow P Gamer on the Red Bull. And he has managed to get through quite nicely as he now returns to P4. A real shame that. So Honda VTEC is into the pit lane. Doug is through on Kevin Gamer. I think now with the drivers just split up a little bit. But Nimblecat has come out behind Ace Drift and Mad Riot. Has he got damage? I don't think so, no. But it would have put a little bit more wear on them tyres. Mad Riot talking of the Sauber driver. Here he comes on Real Aston Army. And he will want to make light work of this Scuderia in front. And he will do. And Ace Drift will as well as Real Aston Army. Oh, and he's losing the rears then, I think. No, he kept hold of it. K9 is into the pit lane and Nimble picks up a time penalty. So easily done around Austria. And that is Alfie Edwards overtaking the Red Bull again. And then Ace Drift on Shining Swarm and Mad Riot. Look how close these two are. The Papaya on the Sauber out of turn 3. We now head towards Slosh Gold at turn 4. He got the better exit. Did the McLaren driver. Wheel to wheel they go. But Ace Drift is going to come out just in front of the Sauber. Through turn 4. And the McLaren got a really decent exit there. Here comes Nimblecat on Real Ashton Army. He's got to put some laps together again. There goes Jennifer Lee into the pit lane. Forza Ferrari stays out. So Jennifer going for an overcut, sorry. How far will he come out behind here, Jennifer Lee, and behind that train? I think everybody waiting for that train to get into the pit lane. Alfie Edwards sets the fastest lap of the race. So we're going to see what damage this has done to Nimblecat, to see in comparison where he comes out to Jennifer Lee. And look at this, you can see Jennifer heading out of the pit lane. There goes Nimble. And Jennifer will come out just behind the Alpine, but maybe even behind Gertmeiser in the Racing Bull. This will not be good for the Haas driver, who's trying to fight for the lead of this Grand Prix. Vicious Vicar as well. His championship rival will go up the inside. Vicious Vicar on Jennifer Lee. 1-2 in the Drivers' Championship. 11-12 here in Austria. So Vicious Vicar needs to think of another plan with 22 laps to go. Forza Ferrari is now into the pit lane. That is Forza into the pits. Where does he come out? And El Wizzy is still leading. The Slow P Gamer chasing him down. That is Kevin Gamer with a track limit violation. Oh, and the Ferrari tagged the McLaren. Oh no! Slow P Gamer. Drama. Alfie Edwards is now your race leader. And look at this. They've all caught up. He didn't get damaged though, did Slow P Gamer. He's going to go later on the brakes on Lad. Up the inside of that Red Bull. And maybe, just maybe, that was just a little frustrating from Slow P Gamer and a little impatient. Should have waited for that DRS. Down towards turn 4. Now here comes Mad Riot on that Red Bull. He's got to be careful. El Wizzy as well does have damage. Real shame for him. Mad Riot is through. Lad goes into the pit lane. The Sauber is free. Nimblecat will enjoy the sounds of this though. Forza Ferrari on his tail, who's on fresher tyres. Yeah, Forza is absolutely flying here. I'm still trying to decide if Forza is tier 4 or tier 3, to be honest. There goes Doug, Lad, and Lewizzy is into the pit lane. D6 Drizz is back in for his second stop, but he's on them hards. He's not done too many laps on them hards here, D6 Drizz. Ace Drift on Mad Riot, and it's the last of the late breakers as Ace Drift moves into a podium position. Remember, Slow P Gamer has a time penalty as well, so bear that in mind, and I think the drivers will be bearing that in mind. Slow P Gamer at the moment with a 3-second time penalty to contend with. And then K9 in that Red Bull around the outside of the Williams. Nimble picking up another track limit. Down the inside, side by side they go here. K9 and Kevin Gamer. But it is the Red Bull that will just get ahead. But now back comes the Williams through turn 8. And a great aerial shot, but it is K9 that comes out in front of Kevin Gamer. He goes back up the inside. Wow, that was close. But he does pick. They both pick up track limits. Wow, both of them picked up track limits there. There goes Mad Riot for the podium position. Back on Ace Drift, and it is the Sauber. But look at the McLaren. He got a good exit out of turn 1. He will have the DRS as well, the McLaren driver of Ace Drift. Sorry, out of turn 3, down towards Slosh Gold at turn 4. He is lagging a little bit here, Ace Drift. Mad Riot having to contend with all of this. In towards turn 6 we go. And up the inside goes Ace Drift. Mad Riot clinging on to the outside line, and back down to P4 goes Mad Riot. And whilst all this is going on, Forza Ferrari is joining the party. So Forza on the back of Mad Riot, but they've both got DRS on Ace Drift. There goes Jennifer Lee on Nimble Cat. And Mad Riot on Ace Drift. He goes a little bit deep. Ace Drift with the old switcheroo. The Papaya proceeds down towards turn 4, but now here comes Forza Ferrari on the freshest tyres of the lot of them. Forza Ferrari will move into P3. What a drive this is. We are seeing some excellent racing. There goes K9 in the Red Bull, back on Kevin Gamer again. Kevin Gamer settling in for P11, and Ace Drift is down to P4. Am I seeing turbulence out of these diffusers? Yeah, I know. I think it's just a glitch on PC because I seen it when Yorn was doing comms and that other guy was doing comms from PC. I think it's a PC thing. Kevin Gamer's off. Oh my God! Gert Meiser goes sliding through the dust to avoid smashing into the back of Kevin Gamer. Wow! Caution, yellow flags. That could have been a huge crash. Kevin Gamer can now come back onto the track. Oh, he's going back off the track again and back on the track again. And he should have got a move on. He's waiting too long here. And now the drivers are really close to him. And into the pit lane he goes, Kevin Gamer. And that is Slow P Gamer being overtaken by Forza Ferrari. That is Shining Swan. Kevin Gamer is out of this race. Here comes K9 on his teammate. Lad is through and he's going to make it a double overtake from the Croatian into P10. And that is Jennifer Lee for P5. Gets the overtake on Mad Riot. Alfie Edwards nearly 7 seconds clear of Forza Ferrari with 17 laps to go. So Kevin Gamer becomes our first retiree. Oh! Slow P Gamer has got damage. No front wing for the Ferrari driver. Who else ended up in the wall there? Somebody else ended up into the wall. I don't know who that was. My goodness, Slow P Gamer, who qualified on pole position. This is falling apart for him. What has happened to the South African's race? Just as we went on board with him, he's going into the wall. Here comes Mad Riot on Jennifer Lee. It looked like he was very close to him then. Jennifer Lee now on the back of Ace Drift, who's in the podium places. Forza Ferrari's chasing down Alfie Edwards. Slow P Game will go back into the pit lane with 15 laps to go. You never know what he can still get out of this race. El Wizzy's from K9A9. I think it might have been K9 that was involved. I don't know. I can't tell yet. There goes Ace Drift and Forza Ferrari. And that is 25 track limits for K9. And Ace Drift is from Forza Ferrari as they go battling down in towards Slosh Gold at turn 4. Ace Drift goes later on the brakes to take the wider line, and here comes Forza Ferrari. And whilst this is going on, it's going to help Alfie Edwards. Yeah, 7.3 is now the gap because these are too interested in fighting each other. So Ace Drift back down to P3. Jennifer Lee is here. He has arrived. The championship leader wants a piece of the action. And my God, is he going to get it? Nimble Cat is into the pit lane, so he's going for an undercut again. 14 laps to go, he's going for his second stop. That might be a good decision to just get away from this drama, get away from this train of drivers. There goes Doug. And here comes Jennifer Lee now on Ace Drift. If Nimble Cat gets into some clean air and can bang out a few laps whilst these are all fighting, it will be perfect for him. Where is he going to come out? He's going to come out behind Shining Swarm and Gert Meiser here, which isn't good for him. There goes Jennifer Lee into the podium places around the outside of the papaya of Ace Drift. Nimble needs to get back in front of the Shining Swan. That's what he's going to do. Later on the brakes goes the Alpine. That is what he needed. And now he's got a little bit of clean air, but he's going to have to contend with this Mercedes fighting from behind. If he can just keep him behind for this next sector, he is. So that is what he wanted, and Nimblecat can now start to bang out some of these laps. Alfie Edwards is now into the pit lane. He's going for an undercut, and he doesn't want to compromise losing any of that time in front. And Forza and Jennifer Lee will now move into the lead. I'm not sure what Slow P Gamer hit, to be honest. So Vicious Vicar goes through. Alfie, Mad Riot and Doug are in the pit lane. Ace Drift, here comes Jennifer Lee for the lead of the Grand Prix. The man from Hong Kong fighting the man from Scotland. Two different parts of the earth, but two same parts of track is what I was looking for. Nimblecat is through on Mad Riot. The undercut has worked. Back comes Forza Ferrari on Jennifer Lee. Wheel to wheel go these two competitors again. But it is the man from Hong Kong that comes out on top into P1. Mad Riot coming out behind Nimblecat is massive for the Alpine driver. There goes Doug on K9. The Aston Martin on the Red Bull is through, but K9 will get that DRS, and he does also have 27 seconds of time penalties here in Austria. Shining Swan on the back of Gertmeiser. It is happening everywhere here at the Spielberg circuit. I mean, I don't know, K9, how you are typing and racing. Vicious Vicar is now into the pit lane. Everybody going for their second stops. So, what's the weather like? It is going to be clear for probably the remainder of the race. You can have a look at the batteries. So you can see Forza's got a little bit more battery than Jennifer Lee. And the speed trap, it is the Aston Martin that is quickest by 2 miles per hour through the speed trap. So Mad Riot on the Red Bull. And we can just watch how Ace Drift is through. Forza Ferrari's into the pit lane. So he went for the overcut on his first stop and the undercut on his second stop. That is interesting. Really interesting. I'm guessing you don't want to lose too many positions. Just going on board with K9A9, we can see what he's doing with the throttle and the brake. Oh no, it doesn't show it actually, I do apologize, because he's hiding telemetries, which is fine. So Mad Riot in P6. That is Real Aston Army. And that is Nimble, now up to P4. Forza Ferrari coming out of the pit lane behind Mad Riot. And they both got DRS. So Nimblecat and Mad Riot both got DRS, but Mad Riot is going to go around the outside. And the Alpine and the Sauber, it is Mad Riot, the former world champion, that is through and up to P4. Now here comes Forza Ferrari to join in. Real Aston Army on Vicious Vicar. There goes D6 Driz up to P13. Remember, points go down to P15 here in Formula 7 racing, and the winner gets 30 points. It promotes consistency, it promotes finishing, and it promotes teamwork. More than just out and out winning, which still gives you a great amount of points. Ace Drift is into the pit lane. He doesn't want to give Forza Ferrari too much of a head start. Jennifer Lee has stayed out though. There goes Alfie Edwards. Alfie's going to be so far clear with this undercut. It's been a great drive from him. The Haas driver doing what he does best. He's not had a race like this for a long time. There goes Nimble and Mad Riot throwing Ace Drift. I am wondering where Ace Drift is going to come out. Is it going to be too much to ask of the McLaren driver to catch up from here? Vicious Vicar into P8. Remember, he's 27 points behind Jennifer Lee in the Drivers' Championship. This is great points for the Haas and the Constructors, you know. I'm just having a look now. Oh, and he's going to go around the outside. It's Forza Ferrari on Nimble. And he just backs out there. So team standings. So Sauber are on 457 and Haas are on 375. So only like 72 points separating them with still 7 races to go. That is really close. Considering you can score 55 points in a race if you finish 1-2, which Alfie and Jennifer are right now. Well, they were. Here comes Mad Riot, Nimble and Forza Ferrari. So Mad Riot does go through, so does Nimble and Forza Ferrari, and Mad Riot will be thinking about the constructors here and what he can do to hold up Jennifer Lee. There goes Ace Drift and Lad. And Jennifer Lee will come out just behind them, but Forza Ferrari is going to try and make the move on the Alpine again as they go in towards turn 3. Can he switch it back up the inside? He can't. This is great defensive racing from Nimble Cat. He's going to burn that battery. Is this going to be the chance that he was waiting for? Down the inside of Slosh Gold at turn 4. He's going to go later on the brakes. Nimble Cat just giving him a little bit of breathing space. And then back comes the Alpine driver. Is he going to look for a move up the inside? He is. And Ace Drift going wheel to wheel with Lad. And Lad goes up the inside. Later on the brakes he goes, shoving the papaya out the way as we come through turn 7 and 8. Then you've got the championship leader of Jennifer Lee on his tail. Nimble Cat can see Forza. He's just got to stay with him now as he loses that second to Mad Riot. Did he lose the DRS? He did. That is awful for the Aston Martin because Nimble will try to come back. Here comes Ace Drift on Lad as we go up towards turn 1. We're going to get more overtaking as we come down the pit lane and then through turn 1. Here comes the McLaren on Lad. The Red Bull driver struggling on them tyres. Ace Drift with that DRS. Then you've got Nimble Cat. He's not been able to catch up to Forza, but Ace Drift is back into P5. A good overtake from Ace Drift. And that is Real Aston Army on D6 Driz. D6 Driz having a great debut here. There goes Lad again on Ace Drift. He's made a mistake though and Ace Drift goes through and so does Jennifer Lee. Yellow flags are waving. But why? There's a McLaren. That is El Wizzy that has made a mistake coming out of turn 1. 8.5 laps to go. Mad Riot picks up a time penalty. So does Real Aston Army. It is drama unfolding. Here comes Jennifer Lee, 2 tenths behind Ace Drift. It is getting to the business end of this race now, and it's getting a little bit sketchy. City and Chelsea are on now. County still losing 2-1 with 20 minutes to go. Come on, County. So Ace Drift on Jennifer Lee. Down into Slosh Gold they go. The Haas driver moves in front. They are now 3.6 behind Nimble Cat though. And Forza Ferrari, without any penalties, is guaranteed P2. So he doesn't need to make the overtake on Mad Riot. No, Kev, you can send the incident report now, mate. That's fine. So wow, we can sort of just calm down a minute. It's just been non-stop from the minute go, like literally non-stop. So, Slow P Gamer on lad. He is still doing a great recovery here, the Ferrari. After that huge crash up towards turn 3. So we'll see what happens. Here we go, the Scuderia. And Gert Miser is through on Shining Swarm as well. So a good move from the Racing Bull. Slow P Gamer is not going to get an easy route through. But the Red Bull just slotting back in behind him. Look at Nimble Cat as well. Jennifer Lee has caught up to them, but he does have that time penalty. But he's right on the tail of the Aston Martin, and Mad Riot will be hoping that Jennifer Lee doesn't get an easy route through of these guys. Nimble has done a fantastic job here, by the way, after that spin. D6 Driz, just lagging out there. And that is Shining Swarm on Gert Miser. Yeah, I don't know. He hasn't been DSK, to be honest. So still a good battle at the front. Mad Riot only 5 seconds behind Alfie Edwards. And now up the inside goes Nimble Cat on Forza Ferrari. And through goes Jennifer Lee as well. Wow, they are into the podium places. And here comes Jennifer Lee, the championship leader. He will go around the outside of Nimble Cat. The Alpine will try to hold on. And Jennifer Lee just having to back out there as Nimble goes through. Then he gets onto the throttle a little bit sooner. He'll have the inside of turn 6. Nimble Cat is there. Forza Ferrari watching as a front row passenger. Shining Swarm and Gert Miser at it. Like cat and mouse. And Gert Miser returns the favour on Shining Swarm. Nimble Cat staying with Jennifer Lee. And he needs to try and pull away from Forza Ferrari if he wants to keep that P4. Ace Drift is there, but he's also got a time penalty of 3 seconds. Nimble has 6 though. That's what I mean. Time penalties can really ruin your end result. 3.5 laps to go. Yes, D6 Drift, you can join back, mate. I've sent you another invite. So Forza, Nimble, Ace Drift, they are 5 seconds clear of Vicious Vicar. If Vicious Vicar can catch up to these, he can potentially pick up quite a few places with no time penalties. You know, Vicious Vicar hasn't had a single track limit violation all season. Not one. Not a single 3-second penalty all season. And this is our 13th race of the season. Jennifer Lee, remember, he's also got 3 seconds, so if Vicious Vicar can catch up, he might even take the position away from Jennifer Lee, who he's fighting for in the Drivers' Championship. But he needs these guys to stay with Jennifer Lee and stay in that DRS train. Otherwise, he can start to escape from them. It's really hard to drop away when you've got that DRS. Magicos. These T4 lot are peculiar. I don't get it. So Vicious Vicar out 4 seconds behind. Let's have a look at the tyres. So he's on 10 lap old hard. So he is in a pretty decent position to catch up, but he's running out of laps here. You can finish the race, Driss. Yeah. Yeah, you should be able to take control of your car, mate. Alfie Edwards catching up to D6 Driz. Nimble Cat is nearly losing DRS to Jennifer Lee in front. Oh, and that is a Mercedes. That is Honda VTEC, I think, that is round. It is. Nimble Cat has lost DRS. This is not going to help Vicious Vicar. Yeah, you should be able to go back on board, Driz, and just press take control of your car. I think he just did, because it always gives that tiny little lag when somebody does. So keep an eye on Vicious Vicar. 1.5 laps to go. He needs to try and catch up. He might not even get the 3 seconds here from Ace Drift. if you get back in your carriages, you might even take P15, which is a points finish. So a little battle to the end. What a race this has been. What a race. Ace Drift in P6. Vicious Vicar chasing them down in that Sauber. Alfie Edwards is 4 seconds clear. He's drove a phenomenal race. Here comes Ace Drift on Forza Ferrari. Forza Ferrari is going to pick up a few extra places. Vicious Vicar is within 3 seconds of Ace Drift. Now he's starting to turn it up. We are on to the final lap of this race. What a drive. Vicious Vicar only 2.7 behind. He might pick up the position from Ace Drift and Nimblecat, so it will put him into P5 from P7. Jennifer's really took off now though. Here comes Forza on Nimble. Around the outside go the Aston Martin and the Alpine. That is real Aston Army on Shining Swarm, doubling his points tally. Forza Ferrari and the Aston Martin will go again, wheel to wheel with Nimblecat. Later on the brakes he goes. That's a great move, and now back comes Ace Drift. Oh, and it's a freeway battle as we go down in towards turn 7. And it will be Alfie Edwards that comes into the final 2 corners. But Nimble and Ace Drift are going at it with Forza Ferrari. Here comes Nimble up the inside, but Alfie Edwards will come through to win the Austrian Grand Prix. Mad Riot will take P2, Jennifer Lee in P3, and Nimblecat has taken P4 on track. But Vicious Vicar has caught up to all of them, and Vicious Vicar takes P5. Forza takes P4, Nimble takes P7. K9A9, that is El Wizzy into the wall again. D6 Driz might even take a points finish on his debut here. Oh, and that is the McLaren on the track. K9 goes through and up to P14. But Alfie Edwards with the victory. Yeah, I could tell your tyres were gone. It's a struggle, innit? And that is K9A9, who is going to take P14 on his debut. Probably P16 actually, looking at his track limit penalties. Through he goes. El Wizzy will take it back. And D6 Driz potentially, it might get a points finish as well. To the line. Oh, Nimble retired and left the session. Oh, it's glitched him out. Oh no. That is going to be a nightmare to fix. There you go on the top step. One of our partners on the billboards there. So let's go through the final standings. It's Alfie Edwards that takes P1, Mad Right in P2, and Jennifer Lee in P3. Let me just have a look, because Nimble left. Yeah, it's DNF'd him, but it's DNF'd him from all the stats, which is a nightmare to sort out. Mad Riot, Jennifer Lee in P3 on the podium. Forza Ferrari in P4, Vicious Vicar in P5. I just need to write these down. Vicious Vicar in P5, Ace Drift in P6, Doug in P7, Slow P Game in P8, Lando in P9, the Real Aston Army in P10, Gert Miser in P11, Shining Swarm in P12, El Wizzy in P13, D6 Driz in P14 on his debut, well done to you, and then the Red Bull in P15 of K9A9. Nimblecat in P16, which isn't right, to Pappy, and then Honda VTEC and Kevin Gamer. My driver of the day is going to be I'm going to give my driver of the day to Mad Riot. P7 to P2 on the podium. Could have given it to Alfie, could have given it to Forza, could have given it to Ace Drift, could have given it to Doug. But yeah, there you have it. Right, There we go. I've got 10 minutes left of the county match in the cup final, and City's just started, and I will need to be back for 7 o'clock. I can finally step out of this room. I've not been out of it since 8:30 this morning. So yeah, thank you all so much for watching, everybody. I really appreciate it. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for the support. Well done to all the drivers, and I will see you all in 2 hours time for Tier 1. Take care, everybody.